Back with the 64 VW Honda conversion here. Working on the shifter linkage. Making a new mounting plate for the first position of this cable. We've marked our frame there. We've taken a piece of some plate that I had laying here that seems to line up really nicely and allow this shift linkage to move from park all the way back to D3 at its final position. Drilled some holes to make the cable mount that's already on here line up, and then marked the frame as you see there with some lines so I know right where to weld it together. Just got that done, and then came over here and marked and sliced off another chunk of the same kind of plate here so that we could make a gusset that's going to fit right down the middle of this mount to give it some solidity and stiffness once it's on there. So we'll mount the plate there against the frame, and then throw that single gusset right down the middle to give this some solidity and less movement. Should be 1,000 times more than what's really needed just to hold that in place so that the shifter can shift. But that'll make sure that it's good and solid and not going to move anywhere on us and unlikely to bend or flex. And then we can move back down the cable till we figure out where the next mount's going to go as it shifts up through the central channel, and we figure out, thinking it's probably going to go in the spot where the old emergency brake went, and we're going to be cutting that center column open and probably doing some fabrication to build a box for the actual shifter handle to fit into and lock in place. And it looks like because of the movement of the shifter linkage here, in order to follow the correct path and shifting of the arm of the shift lever, it's going to be mounted in backwards. That way, as this lever pushes, right now it's in park, and as it shifts towards the back of the car, so that way. So right now it's in park, it would go up into reverse, then click into neutral, then drive, first, second, and finally at the very, very back end is a D3 that you can engage with an extra button. Everything else seems to be good and ready to rock and roll. I've checked this linkage shifting motion several times, that the position that this is in right now, it should easily push backwards and click one spot right after another. Don't know if there's any good spot for the camera to be where it's not going to fall, but all the way back there to the final gear position, and all the way back to park again. So neutral, or let's see, so in park, reverse, neutral, 1, 2, 3, and then that D3 at the very far end over there for the 4 gears that are in this. So that should be that right there. Okay. And it looks like I'm actually going to slide my plate a little bit back towards the rear end to get easy flow and movement of that. So now I'll get the welder out and start doing a little welding on this thing. Well, laugh at me all you want. You can see I had the stupid tripod set up. I had the camera in it. I had it aimed at the right spot. I got all that ready to go. And in my joy of moving forward with this project, I never flicked the camera on to let you all watch me weld that in. But there's the plate welded in the spot, and the gusset welded in to keep it nice and tense. Maybe that's not the word. Keep it nice and rigid. Whatever. It's all welded into place now anyhow. So I'll let that cool off a while. I'm going to try and maybe hook that up a bit later and give it a test switch, but everything should be right where it's supposed to be, lined up, ready to go. This Fabulous little plate to slip right in there and be bolted down. And that be that for our connection in that spot for our shifter linkage. And then from there, we'll run back this way. And our shifter cable will probably go right in through that spot. Right up and through that hole and in there. And be mounted out here somewhere like that. So that this cable can run right up to there where the shifter handle is actually going to be going. And mounted somewhere in that column right there. Like I said, we're probably having to cut that column apart and fabricate some kind of a box so that this can sit in, because it's obviously taller than that central column is already. And so getting all the electrical and linkage and everything all together in the one spot so we can run the wiring straight to it and plug it in and have everything copacetic for the computers. Should be able to do that. And we still got obviously that last one mounted on the cable itself also, so the cable sleeve doesn't shift at all, and the cable within it can actuate and do just what it needs to do back here at the shifter linkage on the tranny. So there we go. Till next time. Back at the VW. Still going after this shifter linkage and shift installer, shift lever installation. I can't speak, sorry. I'm a little out of breath too from running around. Although I probably always suddenly come out of breath because I'm always running around. Okay, so laid it out, see where it fits in the center column here. Marked the center column in the yellow paint. Use the grinder to do the slice over the top at both ends. Here and over there. And a little starter cut for the horizontal. Now I'm using the reciprocating saw to slice the rest of the piece out. Get ourselves a nice flat even line on both sides, and then that whole section there, emergency brake and all, should just lift out and move out of our way. That'll open up the whole center column for us to be able to slide the cable in and through, mount the shifter lever hopefully into a place permanently, and then we can figure out fabricating up some kind of sheet metal center console of some kind, maybe right there in the middle. Possibly relocate the emergency brake further forward ahead of where the shifter's going to have to be because of the cable length on the shifter linkage there. And since nothing is currently hooked up to the emergency brake lever, we're kind of in open country, I suppose. Unknown frontiers, I guess, also. I'm making this up all as I go, so that's just how it's going to be. I'm just that kind of crazy. Anyhow, thought I'd throw this on time lapse and see if I can get a little bit of time lapse video going off of this. Okay, so now hack the whole center column completely out, and this time we pliers for that right there. I think it's time we try sliding this thing into position. Figuring out what we got to do in order to connect where it'll move correctly. So, figure this one out, take that off. I don't believe this is going to be able to work for us anywhere here, so we might as well try and figure out how to pry that loose. So we won't be using it. So, there's that big flathead screwdriver we had. Pliers. And let us see what we can't do here. Well, I can hold things, I promise. Oh man. I'd be better off just taking out the grinder piece. Oh man, that little bit of crap shot me. Okay, now that's gone. So we don't need it, it's not a biggie. Push that one right through. And come on up. Right through there. Hot metal. Straight to the scrap pile. All right. Put that around here. Good times, huh? Good times. Sometimes that's the easiest way to deal with them. then let's go ahead and set this piece. And lock it in place. So there's the bracket for holding the cable in place. We just marked that down inside the column there. You can see the yellow paint, kind of a sloppy bit, but it lines it up enough for us. So now we're going to drill some holes and mount this plate in there so that we can have our cable solidly connected from back there to up here, so that the sheathing doesn't move, but the cable within can slide back and forth. And then we just got to figure out mounting the shifting lever where it needs to go so that there will be proper actuation when we move the lever from park into one of the gears. But that's where we are. That's exactly where we are. Let's see if we can find the right bit here for this. I'm trying to shove it in the bottom of the car. We're close enough to for our purposes. So we can do about ramming this thing down through the bottom now. See what, if anything, we hit. That's a good spot right there. Well, that was a crap drill bit right there. That was a hunk of garbage. Our freight tools, baby. Use them and lose them, because that's what they're worth. Harbor Freight garbage. Yep, just like it. There we go. Okay, first one out of the way. Yep. On there. Either one. You can't be that big. You have to be reasonably small. I think that'll do. And then should be this one on top. Yep, should be one on top. So put that one on top. That one there just for schnitz and giggles. Huh. Huh. Okay, sure. Let's see if that does it. Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't it? Harbor Freight crap. Absolute Harbor Freight crap. Snap one in half because they're cheap ass. Cheap ass. Cheap, cheap, cheap. That is what they are. Cheap, 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 cheap. Very cheap. Cheaply made, cheap quality, just everything all around cheap. Oh yeah. Oh, really helpful. Got a wrench on the last one. Might help with this one too. There we go. Actually, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got the shifter in and connected. Go ahead and shift it through the gears if you wouldn't mind, please. All the way up, all the way back. Okay, hold it there. Okay, just a sec now. I'm gonna swing around over here and show you the shift linkage working. Okay, go ahead and shift it. Okay, you're at neutral. Now you're in, that's neutral, right? Go to reverse. Go to where it's reverse. Are you sure you're looking at the letters?
I am, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. That's all the way back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now go through the gears. Just 1, 2, 3. Trying to go through in each one. Okay. Do it back. Okay, looks good.